What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the release. Yeah, man, we got a really good one for you guys today. It's only the singular topic. You know it's good. But before we get into that, let's start off with some announcements. First of all, follow the YouTube because I'm going to be posting this full thing on YouTube, as well as Instagram and Spotify. Follow Spotify as well. I'm still working on getting it on Apple Music, but it's almost there. Number two, any topic requests. So if you guys want to hear something talked about on the podcast, or if you guys have any suggestions, just DM me or comment it, and I will be sure to try and get that in. Now let's get to the hot topics. Even though they just lost one, no, they just won. AD hit that crazy buzzer beater.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Man, he said Kobe and everything. He called Kobe. Man.
He's making a statement this year in this playoffs. People question his playoff performances, even though he's been a great playoff performer throughout his entire career. That was a fake narrative. He's performed well throughout the entire playoffs. He hasn't got his credit because, LeBron's on his team.
Yeah.
I mean, he
I'd say the only
team.
Yeah.
He leads his team in most of the statistical categories.
Exactly.
Except for assists.
I'd say the only bad thing is his rebounding in this playoffs, but that could always improve.
Yeah. And plus, AD hasn't been a dominant rebounder in his career anyways.
Exactly. He's never been like that, yeah. Okay. Colby Covington, a UFC fighter, called out LeBron and called him a spineless coward and a snowflake, and also said he couldn't last 10 seconds in the ring with him. Well, first of all, I'd like to start this off. Basketball and MMA are two different sports.
Yeah.
So, of course, LeBron, because he's not trained in MMA, so of course he's not going to last 10 rounds in the ring with you. But, come on, bro.
Okay.
Man's calling him a spineless coward.
Yeah, I remember
a spineless coward.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really like too much woke athletes. I think a lot of them are frauds. But, I wouldn't call him a spineless coward.
I wouldn't call him a spineless coward either, man. I just don't like Colby Covington, bro.
Yeah, I mean, hey, let him do him. He's a bold man. He's just that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Speaking of MMA, Manny Pacquiao will be fighting Conor McGregor next year, and a huge portion of his money, the earnings from the fight, will go towards people affected by the pandemic. Man, that's great. I love that. I love to see that. But, man, Conor McGregor is going to get the crap kicked out of him. Come on, man.
Hey, I don't know much about boxing, so I'll take your word for that one.
Trust me.
Okay. All right.
Also, last one, Rajon Rondo is now 8th all-time in playoff assists. Good for him. I think it's 1,000 something. Still high. 1,000 something. My bad. But yeah.
Playoff Rondo is real.
Playoff Rondo is real, and he's here to stay. Okay, he's doing miraculous things for the Lakers this year. Hit that over the backboard shot. You see that?
Yeah, and the Celtics won yesterday. Big game from the Celtics.
Ooh, yeah, man. I almost forgot about that. The Celtics won. I kind of chose to forget about that. But, yeah, huge game. I don't care. I'm still going to call Heat. But
I mean,
it's still a potential to go to 7.
This series is kind of weird, though, because even though the Heat were up 3-1, I didn't think, they're definitely going to win for sure. I don't know. It's just –
yeah, it's a weird one, man.
Yeah, I mean, anybody
There's always a possibility.
I've been high on the Celtics since halfway
forever
throughout the season. But yeah, I mean, I remember saying this months ago that they were going to make it to the finals, and people
that was your finals pick, bro.
Yeah, and people looking at me like, what are you talking about?
We've done 2 segments on that. Those were your 2 finals picks.
Yeah, it hasn't changed. So
yeah, man.
I'm still going to ride with them, even though this is looking like
yes, sir.
They're going to the finals.
Yeah. So. But anyways, let's get straight into it. So like I said, we only have one topic for you guys today, and it's a really big one. So the first episode of this podcast, if you scroll all the way down to my YouTube and my Instagram, it's what is your most controversial opinion? So me and Jordan thought that we would do another one of those. So part 2. Now that video was like 40-something minutes long, so I hope that we can fit this into our small time frame. But without further ado, what is your most controversial opinion? Part 2. Jordan, you can go first.
All right. So I think I said on the last podcast I was on this episode, I said Mike said put John Stockton and Karl Malone in his top 5 duos. I laughed immediately. You're entitled to your own opinion, but in my opinion, I think this duo is overrated. me doing my research on this, they're top 5 in a lot of people's lists, which to me doesn't make any sense. First of all, how are you a top 5 duo with no ring? Second of all, I don't want to hear the excuses. I mean, if you want to use Michael Jordan as an excuse, you still have to beat whoever's in front of you. They've played over 1,000 games, which compared to a lot of duos that I'm going to mention that are better than them, haven't played that much amount of games.
Dang.
Right. So obviously Kobe and Shaq, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
And Pippen,
Mhm.
Magic and Kareem,
Mhm.
Bob Cousy and Bill Russell. I hope I don't have to really.
I don't think you gotta
those
explain
ones.
that one, man. Because explain it real quick for the non-huge basketball fans.
Okay. So to me, Kobe, Bryant, Shaq. That's obvious. I don't need to explain that one.
Yeah.
Neither do MJ and Pipe.
You know,
Pippen.
everyone knows those guys.
Neither do Magic Johnson and Kareem. Now I will explain the Bob Cousy and Bill Russell one. So this.
A lot of these men out here don't know about Bob Cousy, bro.
Or even Bill Russell, man. Like,
Even Bill Russell.
Facts. Even though he's a top 10 player of all time. So.
All time.
So first of all, they won 6 championships. Crazy.
Together. That's insane.
Yep. They played less than 500 games together in the regular season. Had a 74% winning percentage. In the playoffs, had a 65% winning percentage. Bill Russell and Bob Cousy were both MVPs as they played together on the same team. In his rookie season, Bob Cousy won MVP. And they both averaged around 17 points per game. In this time span, Bill Russell averaged 23 rebounds. Bob Cousy averaged 7, almost 8 assists. One of the greatest passers of all time, and was one of the first playmaking point guards of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Bill Russell was the first guy that really made defense and impact on the game, because before it was just offensive and scoring. But Bill Russell came in and said defense. Okay, now everything. Now I'm gonna have to start explaining. The next one is KD and Curry. I mean, it was close between Clay or Curry.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna pick this duo because one, they're more talented, just flat out. You can't name me a lot of duos that are more talented than this one. Like, we're talking about individual talent. These both two guys.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that one.
Like, think about it. You have 2 top 20 players of all time. In my opinion, I think they're both top 15 players of all time. They have 2 championships, 3 conference finals wins, and they went 3-time finals appearances.
Mm-hmm.
Both shoot over 60% true shooting percentage. Both average around 25 points per game. Both were great playoff performers in this stretch. KD almost was averaging 30 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists, and 1.2 blocks on 50, 40, 90, 51, 40, 90 shooting in the playoffs.
Dang.
In the finals, in both of his finals that he played in, even in Game 5 against the Raptors, he was cooking them for when he was on the court before he got hurt.
Oh my goodness, yo! I don't even want to talk about that. You don't understand how scared I was. This man came off the bench, dropped 9 straight points, didn't miss.
Yeah. So in those finals games, he averaged 32 points, 9.5 rebounds, and 6.5 assists on 52, 40, 93 shooting. Curry, 26 points on like over true shooting percentage, over 60 again.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the playoffs, he was great during this stretch. Probably his greatest playoff stretch in the last 3 years that he played in. 27 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. In the finals as well. He's underrated in the finals, even though KD was better. Man still put up 28 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. So he was still putting his work.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of upset that he hasn't gotten his finals MVP yet. But then every year there's always been someone that's kind of outperformed him. All
right, so let me just kind of make this quicker now. So the next one is Larry Bird and Kevin McHale. So I think everybody knows who Larry Bird is. I'll have to explain that one. No, I mean Kevin McHale now. That man is underrated. He's one of the greatest 6 men of all time. He's a 2-time 6 Man of the Year winner. Guy throughout his career averaged 18.7 rebounds, almost 2 assists. Made all defense 6 times, 7-time All-Star. For one, they have 3 championships, 5 finals appearances. 3 championships, 5 finals appearances. You can't take that away. You can't really take that away. Postseason, both got even better. 7, and this one's controversial. Tim Duncan and Tony Parker. I mean, Yeah, I mean, you
Man,
may
I'm a
want to
Tim
say.
Duncan lover, but I mean,
I mean,
Tony Parker was a more elite scorer than John
Stockton.
Stockton, of course. But
I'm not saying he's better than John Stockton, obviously not. But I'm talking about the duo, the 4-time championship. They won 700 regular season games, won 131 playoff games. By the way, crazy winning percentage. Tony Parker also won Finals MVP, which he's also
that's
forgot
true.
about. The last but not least, before I get to John Stockton, number 8. This is another underrated one, obviously. Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars, 2-time champs, Finals MVPs.
Okay, they're
One of
champs,
the greatest,
but like,
backcourts of all time.
I don't know how I feel about these.
I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go.
Okay, so who'd you have at you have Karl Malone and John Stockton at 8?
9th.
Ew, damn.
Yeah.
I really don't know how I feel about this. It's just like, because you look at them and yes, they didn't win a chip, but like, you also got to look at the elite passing and the elite scoring, and then that combo created a disgusting offense that was nearly unstoppable. I'm not going to say completely unstoppable because we all know what happened in Game 6 of the finals. But it's just like, I like Karl Malone and John Stockton a lot. Like as
players, Karl Malone
as
as
players,
a person,
like, they're good guys, and even as what's it called, a duo. Like, you heard a ton of my arguments back then when you said John Stockton was a top 10 point guard of all time, and I was like,
No, he's in my top 10. I mean, he wasn't that high in it, but, he was still in it.
He was
so.
Yeah, he was just low. It was just weird. It was like, I really, like I keep saying, like, I really, really, really like those players, and I really like them as a duo. And I feel like they have been extremely dominant throughout their career. But to go back to one of your points, in order to be a dominant duo, you need a ring. Like, they got the accolades, they got the All-Star appearances, but man, there's the sad thing about it is they never got that ring, man.
And to me, this is a partnership, right? So to be a top duo of all time, you have to have championships.
Yeah.
It's not an individual, it's a team. Yeah. I mean, it's a duo, but also we're now about the team. And they had a great coach. They still had a Hall of Famer coach. They still had great teammates around them.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of years where they were losing in the first round, right? They have a losing playoff record. As I've said, they've played over 1,000 games together in the regular season. The only duo on this list that actually compares to their amount of games is Tony Parker and Tim Duncan. And they have 4 championships to show for it.
Yeah, you're making the most solid points I've ever heard you make, and it's hard to argue this because they are a legendary duo. And yes, I respect you for putting them in the top 10, but like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just, I personally feel that they were better than some of the guys that you've listed, like the Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas. They won chips.
I can see that. I can see that one.
Yeah, no. I'd like to say that they're above them, and then I'm thinking about Larry Bird and Kevin McHale. Like, but I don't think I'd put any of those guys above Larry Bird, but I would put them above Kevin McHale. That's the thing for me. I don't know how I feel about that one. And Tim Duncan and Tony Parker. I'm trying to think if those two duos matched up in the finals, who would do, or in the Western Conference Finals, who would do better. And like,
I'm actually picking the Spurs. Like, John Stockton is better than Tony Parker, but if you're asking me, it's a playoff series, Game 7. You have Tony Parker and Tim Duncan. Got John Stockton and Karl Malone. I'm taking Tony Parker and Tim Duncan.
I'm a Tim Duncan lover. Like, he's my favorite player of all time.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's so difficult because in the duos you've listed, I would take one player. So like, I'd take Karl Malone over Kevin McHale and something like that. But I wouldn't take
Karl Malone over Larry Bird.
Karl Malone over Larry Bird, and I wouldn't take John Stockton over Larry Bird, and I wouldn't. But I would take John Stockton over Tony Parker, but I wouldn't take Karl Malone over Tim Duncan. And it's – I actually don't know how to argue this one. You got me stumped here. Like, It's because it's a
These are
duo.
some solid points.
You
It's a
made
duo,
some solid
yeah.
points. It's called a duo for a reason. Duo, two people. And so you can't just argue like the one-on-one thing here. And if we're talking about pure dominance and who was dominant, I gotta agree with you. Like
And if we're gonna talk about one-on-ones, I could have named more duos that were better, but I just didn't like. It's still a duo. Like I could have put Elgin Baylor and Jerry West in there because it's individual talents.
Mm-hmm.
I think both of them are better than, in my opinion, I think both of them are better than Karl Malone. And John Stockton is not even close to Elgin Baylor or Jerry West.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, if you're gonna make the talent wise, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of duos you could put in talent. You could put Dwayne Wade and LeBron. I have them like 10th, just because Dwayne Wade after the first year was just kind of wasn't the same guy he was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, what's yours?
Man, okay. Now I feel like personally I'm gonna get more haters on this one than you did. That you will. I'm saying Tim Duncan's better than Kobe.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, just let me list off the accolades. Okay, Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant are both 5-time champions. Tim Duncan's a 3-time Finals MVP. Kobe's a 2-time Finals MVP. Tim Duncan's a 2-time regular season MVP, and Kobe did it once. Kobe's 18-time All-Star, and Tim Duncan's a 15-time All-Star. So extremely similar careers, So when you look at that, people would argue like, yeah, Kobe's better. I have more stats for you, okay? I brought out the averages. So Tim Duncan's career averages are 19 points, 2.2 blocks, 0.7 steals, 3 assists, 10.8 rebounds, 69.6 free throw shooting, 17.9 3-point percentage, 50.6 field goal percentage, and then he also averaged 34 minutes, and he also played 1,392 games in 251 playoff games, which all totals up to 3 full seasons played. Now, comparing that to Kobe, Kobe averaged 25 points, so Kobe's better than that. But then Kobe also averaged 0.5 blocks and 1.4 steals, 4.7 assists, 5.2 rebounds, 83.7 free throw per shooting, 32.9 3-point percentage, 44.7 field goal percentage, 36 minutes, 1,346 games played, and 4 full seasons played. Once again, it's looking like Kobe. But, once again, I have more stuff. Is there anything you'd like to say? Because I have a ton of stuff lined up.
No, you keep on going. Going.
So
I'll interject when I feel like it.
Yeah, so now I'm comparing their best seasons. So, for me, Tim Duncan's best season was it 2003, 2004? Yeah. No.
Oh, was it that one you won the MVP with old David Robertson and young Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, okay. I think it's that year.
Mm-hmm. So, look, that season he led the Spurs to 60-22 record on 23.3 points per game, 12.9 rebounds per game, 3.9 assists per game, 0.7 steals per game, 2.9 blocks per game on 51.3 field goal percentage. He was an NBA champion, Finals MVP, all NBA first team, all defensive first team, and an all-star. In the playoffs, he averaged 24.7 points per game. Ooh. Hold on. Bucks. That's a big one. Bucks. And in the and he also had very, 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 very little help with David Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
That's an old washed-up David Robinson. I'm not saying he's not a legend, but come on.
And then a young and inefficient Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili.
Mm-hmm. Young, very young. Now, in the finals, he averaged 24.2 points per game, 17 rebounds, 5.3 assists, and 5.3 blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Insane. And he never, ever missed the playoffs. Ever. Now, yes, he's had help throughout his career, but he is a true leader. Now, Kobe Bryant's best season. Ooh. Kobe Bryant's best season. Okay. He averaged 28.3 points, 0.5 blocks, 1.8 steals, 5.4 assists, 6.4 rebounds, 84% from the free throw line, 36.1 3-point percentage, and 45.9 field goal percentage. To me, I already see that Tim Duncan's doing better in this season. He took his team to the finals. He was regular season MVP. He was an all-star, all NBA first team, and all defensive first team. In the playoffs, he averaged 30 points, 0.4 blocks, 1.7 steals, 5.6 assists, 5.7 rebounds on 81 free throw percentage, 30 3-point percentage, and 48 field goal percentage. He had an old Luke Walton, but he did have help from Pau Gasol and Lamar Odom, who both pretty much averaged a double-double. Lamar Odom averaged 14.3 points, 1.3 blocks, 0.7 steals, 3 assists, and 10 rebounds off of pretty good shooting. And then Pau Gasol averaged 16.9 points, 1.9 blocks, 0.5 steals, 4 assists, 9.3 rebounds on also pretty good shooting, except from the three because he didn't attempt a single three. Over his entire career, Kobe.
Wait, did he win the championship that year?
No, I don't think he did. Because I think they lost to the Celtics that year. That's 2007, 2008.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they lost to the Celtics that year.
Okay, yeah.
He missed the playoffs 5 times in his 19 career season, and Tim Duncan went 18 seasons straight in the finals.
I mean, you got to use some context to that argument, though, because
I told you I'm coming with the stats.
So I'm just saying, because like after, I mean, I think Tim Duncan's better, but he missed the playoffs after Shaq left. That team was talent deprived. Then in his last few years, some of his best players included injured riddled Julius Randle, and Nick Young. Yeah, those teams are good, but Tim Duncan's definitely a better leader though.
Yeah, but that's another one of my points because like I know people would argue like but Kobe also had a very very trash team. Think about Tim Duncan's MVP year and the first time he won the finals. He did not have in my opinion, he didn't have an amazing team. Okay.
Like also, remember the teams that he beat. He beat the Suns with Steve Nash, and he beat the Lakers, who were coming off of a three-peat. Then beat the Detroit Pistons team.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Now listen to this. So Tim Duncan led, like you've said, old David Robinson and young Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker to the finals and won that year. Kobe Bryant didn't win, but he had 2 helpers.
Mm-hmm.
And he was facing the Celtics team. But then Tim Duncan was facing the Lakers, the Pistons, all these amazing teams. So Kobe, number one, Kobe had more help than Tim Duncan in that one season and a couple more seasons, right? Like with Shaq and stuff. 2, Tim Duncan's proved that he's a better leader. And for me, I think leadership, it comes down to leadership at the very, very least. Like Tim Duncan was also able to sacrifice his own stats for the better of his team.
Yeah.
Right? Think about that. So, like, I couldn't find an exact example of it because the man played 251 playoff games and 1,392 regular season games. But it's been shown that he'd be okay with his own stats suffering for the better of the team. He's done it many times before. Basketball fans know how long he's been doing this and what he's done. Kobe, on the other hand, wouldn't really sacrifice his own stats for the win.
Yeah.
It's true. Like every night this man would go out there and average what he's averaging in the season or even get above that, but then his team would take a massive loss.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna help you actually. I'm gonna make your point even stronger.
And forget it, bro. Tell it to the people.
So the Kobe fans, again, no disrespect to Kobe. He's the 6th greatest player of all time in my opinion.
You are
yes
6th greatest player of all time.
So I don't want to hear someone say, "Yeah, you're disrespecting Dave." Blah 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 blah. No, I don't want to hear that, you snowflakes. Stop it. Okay. Now, so Kobe has the Mamba mentality. Because this is what someone's going to use against you, Dave. They're going to use the Mamba.
The Mamba mentality. No.
Mentality. They say, Kobe is the clutchest player, arguably of all time. My question for these people, are these notions or these facts? Because
exactly,
LeBron James is way more clutch than Kobe Bryant. We just gonna keep it a buck here. We could look at Game 7 performances. We could look at game-winning shots. I don't get how Kobe could seem as except for Michael Jordan, the clutchest player of all time. Meanwhile, LeBron James is seen as some playoff choker, right? This also doesn't account for the fact that Kobe Bryant has had a lot of bad playoff games and closeout games.
Mm-hmm.
He was bad against the Pistons when they lost. That's the reason why they lost.
Exactly.
Kobe was
And
awful.
nobody's talking about the fact that, okay, listen, man, I love Kobe, and I think he's a 5th on my all-time list. But he's had some awful shooting nights where the team has suffered because of that. And Tim Duncan, on the other hand, has never had that. Like, pretty much never had that.
Yeah, I mean, he also choked a 3-1 lead against the Suns. And then he had one playoff game where he decided to stop shooting in the second half because he wanted to be emotional over some Charles Barkley comment that Charles Barkley told him he needs to pass the ball more. He decided not to shoot in an important playoff game. So those things matter, right? So, I mean, again, I'm just helping you out because, they're going to use the Mamba mentality.
Yeah, no, okay. Let me talk to you. Like you said, is this an argument or is this facts or is this a notion? The Mamba mentality was something that he had, but it didn't
always work.
Help him all the time. Like, it didn't always work. Like, people would be like, well, the Mamba mentality is unmatched, and nobody else had something like that. And it was always in effect, and he always did it for the better of his team. And no, he didn't.
All right, so I was I did my research about Jerry West about the best player to ever win the MVP. Right. I went down this list of Game 7 performances based off all-time greats. Right. So LeBron James was obviously the best one ever statistically. So was MJ. Jerry West was also amazing in those games. Right. Bill Russell as well. Even Wilt Chamberlain was averaging 30 and 20. And Kobe had one of the worst ones out of all of them. Game 7 averages.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, okay, the joke that Kawhi made in All-Star Weekend, like, yo, hey, Kawhi, what's the most shots you ever taken? And Kawhi's like 15. And Kobe's like, well, mine's like 50-something, right?
Yeah.
Now, cool, it's good to know that you took a lot of shots in the game, and it's good to know that you need to take more shots to be more successful. But, like, yo, there are seasons, like full seasons, where his shooting suffered. Like, because he tried to do too much. We understood that your team is trash, and you kind of got to be the leader of that team.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not saying that he wasn't a leader, because he, like, even though Tim Duncan was a way better leader.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe was still a great leader.
Yeah.
But in order to lead means you need to have the most, like, stay consistent.
Okay.
And you need to, I don't know how to say it. I want to say constructive criticism, but that's not the word I'm looking for, okay? So you need to lead in a way that it's better for your team. Like, you don't go out there and be like, okay, guys, this is what you do, and Kobe drops 40, but then the entire team loses by, like, 13, right? Tim Duncan would be like this. Yeah, what's up?
Okay, so I want to say, so obviously a lot of MJ and Kobe comparisons, right?
Yes.
But the one thing that makes MJ better than Kobe, Kobe, first of all, I think he's a better scorer than MJ. He's able to make more difficult shots. He's a better three-point shooter. He does a lot of things better than MJ does on offense, right? Defensively, MJ is better, but not that much because Kobe's also one of the greatest guard defenders of all time.
People underrate that, actually.
Yeah, one of the greatest. Yeah, that's someone else to make for you. But Tim Duncan's the top 5 defender of all time. So
exactly, arguably the best defender of all time.
There's levels to this, right? MJ was willing to buy in with Phil Jackson, right? Imagine this: you're averaging 36 points per game. You're young. You're MVP. You're one of the most famous one of the most famous athletes at that time. And some guy says to you, some old white man says to you, you need to take less shots. He bought in, and he wants a championship because of that. Now, a lot of people don't talk about this, but Kobe had a great season this year. This was when Dwight Howard and Steve Nash were on the team in Pau Gasol.
Yeah.
Right? They were injury riddled, but wait for a second.
Mm-hmm. Keep on. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna continue here. Kobe Bryant. I keep saying this, wasn't as great of a leader as Tim Duncan because Tim Duncan was willing to sacrifice his own stats, and he did all of this stuff that I personally feel that Kobe Bryant isn't capable of. It's hard to say, but like Jordan was just saying, first of all, Kobe Bryant said himself in The Last Dance, there is no Kobe without MJ. Now, I don't know who truly influenced Tim Duncan to be the greatest player of all time, but I do know that it was his second sport besides swimming, and then once a hurricane destroyed his pool, he decided to go swimming. Hurricane destroyed the only pool in the Virgin Islands that he decided to do basketball. Tim Duncan built himself up to like an insane amount. This man did all 4 years of university or college, wherever he went.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that benefited him more than Kobe coming out of high school. Like, can you imagine what Kobe could have done if he went to university or something like that?
Yeah. Okay. But before I was making a point before I left, right? So he had Mike D'Antoni coaching him that year, right?
Yeah.
Anybody that knows Mike D'Antoni, he makes almost every offensive player better.
Pretty much.
Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire. I don't think he made James Harden better, but his stats.
Russell Westbrook. No.
Russell Westbrook. I mean, if MVP Russ was playing with Mike D'Antoni, he probably would have averaged 35 points that year. I mean, he still have the athleticism and mid-range shot that he had back then, but he even made him more efficient, able to cut down his usage rate and still be more effective. And wherever D'Antoni goes, he's going to make that all-star look great.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's Malcolm Brogdon or Victor Oladipo or something like that, or potentially Ben Simmons on the Sixers, he'll make someone great. Now,
that would be amazing.
Yeah, so Kobe Bryant didn't buy into Mike D'Antoni's system.
Mm-mm.
Now, even though there was a lot of injuries, Kobe Bryant, it's still a great season. Hey, this is one of those underrated seasons of all time. That he was amazing that season, right? But he didn't want to buy into a system.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why he got injured, because he was trying to do way too much. He was essentially coaching the team.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, there's two different coaches. There's a Kobe Bryant coaching. He wasn't really coaching, but he had more to say, obviously. And then there's Bill Russell coaching. When Bill Russell coached, he wasn't really the first option, right? He was able to sacrifice a lot. John Havlicek was actually the best player in the Celtics that year, and he arguably could have won Finals MVP, averaging 25 and 11, which are great Finals MVP numbers. But Jerry West was better. Bill Russell could be a player coach. See, Tim Duncan could be a player coach, right?
He is a player coach. So is Bill Russell.
Yeah. Those guys could be a player coach. They could be a player and a coach because they have the ego to do it. Magic Johnson, I mean, kind of. But a guy like Kobe, you're a great scorer, you're a great defender, but you need to buy into the system. If he bought into Mike D'Antoni's system, they would have gone further, and he would have had a longer career. Or his last few years would have been better because he wouldn't have been hurt.
Exactly. Tim Duncan didn't try to do everything himself. He could rely on other people, and he could trust his guys. His guys. He's the leader of that team. Those are his guys. And then he also had a great relationship with Pop. Like, he's literally coaching with Pop right now. Right? And like you just said, Kobe Bryant did not buy into the system. He didn't do what his coach asked of him. He was rebellious in a way that made his team suffer. Now, that team was still good, but they could have done so much more. Because Mike D'Antoni's a great coach, and he knows what he's doing.
Great offensive coach. Yeah,
great offensive coach. Yeah, not defensively. We won't even talk about that. He knows what he's doing, right? Mm-hmm. But it's just amazing how much further they could have gone in that season, in those finals. I mean, in that playoffs.
Like, some of the false note, like Steve Nash wasn't himself when he got traded there.
Yeah.
With Dwight Howard, he was still putting up 17 and 12, and he made the All-Star team that year, actually.
Dwight Howard was good, man.
People say he was trash after he left.
Yo, what did the Lakers do? What did he do to the Lakers? He was doing great.
He did his role. He's not Shaq, right? And that's the thing. You need to stop asking him to be Shaq because he never was, never will be. That's fine.
Exactly, man. Shaq's a different breed of player. You can't expect.
All right, so I'm going to hit you with a different argument now because I'm going to be the Kobe apologist, right?
All right, let's go.
Kobe's a better scorer, though. You see, Kobe could beat anybody in a 1v1.
Yeah, okay, of course he's a better scorer.
Break that argument down to me, Nathan. I want to know.
What do you mean? Of course, Kobe's a better scorer.
Yeah.
Like it's been proven. His stats are 25 points per game. Tim Duncan's are 19 points per game. Like
And
that's
but he's also a better 1v1 player though, so that matters. Obviously, in a team sport,
well,
the
yeah,
1v1
but
ability obviously matters, right?
of course because they ISO king, right? But what happened with was it the Rockets this year? Calling ISO after ISO after ISO after like that's pretty much happened with Kobe. And then once okay, there's a video of LeBron like mocking Kobe in the USA Olympics, and he's like when Kobe does this, that just means get the hell out the way. That means nothing else. It's just ISO. Kobe would do that like every other play. Like you can't just win off of ISOs, Jordan.
Okay. So thanks for. Okay, so let me go back to my normal self, the one who actually knows basketball now. So
You can score. You can score off of ISOs all you want, but you isolating someone and trying to play 1v1 street ball with them isn't going to win your team the game.
Isolation is not championship winning basketball. That's just a fact.
Fact. Speak to the people.
Okay, so let's break down the last few championships then, right? If people are so interested, right? The Toronto Raptors were a ball movement system. If you've noticed, Kawhi Leonard doesn't play as well that he did in Toronto in the playoffs and did it with the Clippers because the Clippers were not a ball movement system.
Exactly.
Paul George was not an ISO player either. He was an off-ball player. That's why he averaged 30 points in OKC with Russell Westbrook handling the ball, giving him passes. Now, the Golden State Warriors teams probably have one of the greatest ball movement systems of all time. Steve Kerr is great at ball movement, off-ball screens, all of this.
Exactly.
The Spurs that won the championship were also a ball movement team.
You can't win off of you need ball movement to win, yo. It's a team sport. You need to pass. You need to get everyone touches. Like, why do you think the triangle offense in its day was so elite and unstoppable?
Yeah, because it was
it's some of the most elite ball movement anyone's ever seen.
Yeah,
that's why they won their 6 chips.
The only exception that you don't have to pass the ball that much is if you have an all-time great floor general, like if you have a Magic Johnson, James.
But people like that still rack up 10 assists per game.
Yes, but again, Kobe and MJ were not like that. Kobe was able to adjust later in his career, but if he bought in more to the actual system, if he wasn't shot chucking against the finals with the Detroit Pistons, he would have 6 championships right now.
Arguably even more. And
the reason why people didn't want to play with him. Let's just keep it a buck. Nobody wanted to play with this guy. Remember?
It's true.
He got to White, but that was lucky. LaMarcus Aldridge was supposed to go to the Lakers. He went to the Spurs to play with Tim Duncan. I don't know why I brought that up, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah, but think about that though, right? Your point. LaMarcus Aldridge is an all-star at the time, multiple-time all-star. Okay, great player.
Yeah,
he has the opportunity to go play with LeBron, to play with Kobe, or to play with Tim Duncan. He's about to get traded to the Lakers. This man's like, gets traded to the Spurs, plays with Tim Duncan. Yeah. You need guys like Tim Duncan on your team to bring you up. First of all, for a big man too, he was a great passer.
Yeah,
he could pass to you when you needed it.
He was probably a better passer than Kobe.
Let me check the stats here.
No, not statistically, because Kobe's a guard.
Oh yeah, of course. But like averaging 3 assists for a big man over your whole career, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he'd share the ball more. Like I said, multiple. Like I've probably said this 7 times. He'd sacrifice his own stats. He'd pass the ball away. You don't see Tim Duncan. Well, clearly, he can't call ISO. He's a huge dude. But like.
Okay, do you know what this argument reminds me of? This reminds me of the Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain argument, right? So Kobe's Wilt Chamberlain, and Tim Duncan's Bill Russell. Anybody who knows basketball, I hope you get this. If you don't, I'll probably kind of break it down to you, right? So Bill Russell, like Tim Duncan, was more of a team guy, right? He had more championships. He had less stats. He wasn't as technically skilled as Wilt Chamberlain. See, Wilt Chamberlain dropped in his first 8 years. He averaged almost 40 points per game.
Yeah, no, his rookie year, this man averaged 39. Stupid.
Yeah, he won MVP, right? He had the MVPs. He had the fame. He had the swagger to him.
He had the women, bro. This man had everything at the touch of his fingers.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Bill Russell was a social leader, activist, different type of people.
Mm-hmm.
You could say, okay, but Wilt Chamberlain's better though, because he puts up more stats, right?
Do me a favor, so-called basketball fans. Who has more chips?
Who has more MVPs between Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain? Bill Russell. And by the way, you can't even name the narrative. You can't say it was media. The players voted back in the 60s.
It's the players. If it was up to the media, of course Wilt Chamberlain would win.
Exactly. The players voted for him. Imagine this. One guy's averages 30 and 25 throughout his career. The other one averages around like 18 and 25. Wilt Chamberlain put up 50 points per game in one season, but Bill Russell still won the MVP. Players actually respect Bill Russell more than they ever do respect Wilt Chamberlain.
You said this earlier. There's levels to this. Bro.
Rick Barry called Wilt Chamberlain a loser. By the way, he's another top 50 player of all time. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar also called Wilt Chamberlain a loser in a massive letter he made. So, again, they both played against Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. I mean, he only played against Wilt Chamberlain, but this goes in the same argument. Wilt Chamberlain is a way better talent than Bill Russell ever was.
Oh, of course
Nobody's questioning that. Even Wilt Chamberlain has said, if you put me on that Celtics team, that team wouldn't be as good. Because you know why? Because I'd be taking the ball away from the John Havliceks, the Bob Cousy's, the Sam Jones, the Tommy Heinsohns.
Do you hear these guys?
Yes. See, that's the difference.
If Wilt was on that team, these guys wouldn't be the legends they are today.
But it goes both ways, though, because, Bill Russell wouldn't be able to take the teams that Wilt was on. But they're two different players, right? When people get involved of, who's a better individual player, it's a team sport.
Thank you. Oh, my God. Thank you. I've been trying to tell this to people.
Team sport.
It's a team sport.
Exactly.
5v5 court.
It's a team sport. If I say that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is better than Kobe Bryant, even though I feel like that should be honestly a fact. It is a fact. No. But people would say, you're wrong, though. He didn't have that Mamba mentality. He wasn't as skilled as a player.
Kobe's the best ISO player of all time.
But this is my thing, though. Tell that to a 6-time MVP. Tell that to a guy who's led the league in rebounding and points and seasons. See, this is the thing. Kobe's a great player, but if we're going to compare him to Tim Duncan, you were nitpicking. He wasn't as good as a playoff performer. That's just a fact. I don't care what all the numbers show.
Listen.
Tim Duncan wasn't disappearing in the playoffs like Kobe was, or he wasn't out shooting his teams.
I'd just like to say two things. One, we are not disrespecting Kobe in any way.
It's sad that you have to say this, but yeah, no, we're not.
It's sad I have to say this because of all the toxic Kobe fans out there that have turned into snowflakes.
Yeah.
But bro, we're simply talking about basketball, and we're talking about we're spitting facts.
I have
we are educating you right now, bro.
I have another one I'm going to say. I have another one. So let's talk about floor raisers versus ceiling raisers, right?
Oh.
I hope people get that term, right? So floor raisers, right, they make a bad team better. Meanwhile, a ceiling raiser, right, makes that good team a championship team, right?
And Duncan.
Now I'm going to have another analogy, right? I'm going to have another two guys, new era players. Let's compare Stephen Curry to a guy like Russell Westbrook, right? My favorite play, even though this is a dumb comparison, but listen to this out, right? When Russell Westbrook won his MVP season, he took a team that wasn't supposed to be in the playoffs to 45 wins, which would have been like the 4th seed in the East, right? Now, I remember at this time, I used to, even as much as I love Russ, I had to debate people telling them why Curry was better. But Curry couldn't carry a team like that, right?
I actually kind of don't understand how people I can't understand because these people aren't real basketball fans. But
here's the thing. Curry, though, could take a team that could win 55 wins, 70 wins. Westbrook takes a team that could win 30 wins to 46 wins. See the difference?
It's like
Exactly. Ceiling raisers are better than floor raisers. That's the reason why that Michael Jordan will be better than LeBron James. It's the same reason why Bill Russell will always be better than Wilt Chamberlain.
Yo, this is just a factual podcast. Forget the controversy. We're teaching people lessons right now.
Thank you, bro. Like, hey,
we're taking you to school.
Coming off like a professor out here, but I have to tell people the truth.
Bro, LSU,
yes,
Texas, sign us to educate your team.
Ceiling raisers and floor raisers are different, but ceiling raisers like a Tim Duncan will always be better than a floor raiser like Kobe Bryant.
Oh my God, yo, the way you just like extended my point from here to here, bro, like yo. That's such an intelligent thing to say. Can I just say that? Like, that was intelligent.
Yeah,
floor raisers, like you
versus ceiling
bad
raisers,
team, better. Ceiling raisers make a good team championship. Done.
See, floor raisers would be like a guy like Russell Westbrook and James Harden, right?
Of course.
But a ceiling raiser is a guy like LeBron James and Stephen Curry. Or LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard. KD.
Like, look at the Raptors this year, okay? Great team. Yeah. Sadly, they're out in the playoffs. Add Kawhi to that team, they're a championship team. That's a ceiling raiser, right?
Those are always more valuable.
Look at the Lakers without LeBron this year. Still a pretty good team. I think they wouldn't win a chip. Add LeBron to that team, it's almost a guaranteed chip.
Exactly.
Look at what they're doing this year.
See, man, that's what ceiling raisers do.
I mean, they're playing risky ball with Denver by going up 3-1. But
if you're a ceiling raiser. Good team, yeah, exactly. Ceiling raisers make good team great. Floor raisers make a bad team good. Which one are you taking?
I'm taking a good team great.
Exactly.
Like that Spurs team, that big three is one of the best big threes of all time. That's one of the most dominant teams. Like, you want to know?
I hope for anybody with the Wilt Chamberlain argument or with the Kobe and Tim Duncan argument, I hope that statement, what I just said about floor raisers and ceiling raiser, will shut this argument down.
Think about that. It's not even an argument anymore, bro. Like, people are gonna be watching this and make me like, he's outrageous, and then you're gonna say that's stuff, man. People are gonna be like, oh. We're saving people here.
Because you see, we could talk about the numbers, right?
Let's talk.
We could talk about the numbers, right? Okay, so if we're talking about numbers, then James Harden has better numbers than Magic Johnson. Right?
Yeah.
How would you feel if I just walked up and said James Harden is better than Magic Johnson to actual basketball fans?
Yeah, okay. If I'm being totally honest, I'd probably smack you. Like.
Exactly. Exactly, right? Let's say a guy like Russell Westbrook who has 3 straight triple-doubles in a row. I walk up and I say he's better than D-Wade. Not even close. You see, I'm getting smacked. I'm getting smacked.
You're getting jumped, like by everyone.
And D-Wade's probably like my favorite player. I mean, his parenting choices. My bad. I don't even know why I brought that up.
It's chill. Continue.
His parenting choices are just not what I would do in life.
Yeah.
But he's still watching wise is my favorite player to watch. Westbrook's my second favorite, right? Stuff like that. Numbers don't mean everything. Numbers do mean something. You can't say numbers don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
But
of course numbers mean stuff, but
obviously. Half of the game is numbers. The other half is what you do on the paper. What you do in the actual court. Right?
Yeah.
So again, that's why I say floor raisers are better. Sorry, ceiling raisers are better than floor raisers.
Exactly. Like another ceiling raiser's point. Take both bad teams. That one bad LA team that Kobe was good on, and that one awful Spurs team that Tim Duncan was on. Tim Duncan takes them to the finals, wins a chip. A chip! With almost no help. Like we've said 3 times already.
He didn't have a lot of help.
Old washed up David Robinson. Young, underdeveloped Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker.
Yep, and Kobe had absolutely no one. And there's levels to it, right? What happened?
And like we've literally told you why it wasn't what it was. I hope we've opened your eyes. Like, yes, we've said some slightly controversial things to people that don't know basketball, like a lot of people do.
Mhm.
And you know what? We're probably gonna receive some hate for us, but I hope you guys have learned and
Yeah.
your eyes have been opened to the light.
Hey, if someone wants to debate this with me, I will debate them with it.
Bro,
But you
you call
better
me
speak.
up. I'll yell at them on the phone.
But you better not come out here crying and being emotional.
Come on, man.
I don't like emotional people, bro. Like, I don't care whatever if it's politics, basketball, nothing. If you're gonna be emotional, I'm not talking to you. It's difficult to deal with.
Come on, man.
It doesn't make your point. See, I'm sure I made a lot of Kobe fans go up into the room, started crying, but you can't defeat that. Let me make this closing argument. Kobe Bryant is not better than Tim Duncan. Wilt Chamberlain
Done.
is not better than Bill Russell.
LeBron is not better than MJ.
Thank you. All right, thank you. That's preacher. And I'll even make it one more. I'll make it one more. Let's compare. Yeah, nah, never mind. But I'm gonna say this though.
No, say
Ceiling
it.
razors,
Say it.
same reasons. Okay. I was gonna say this. Now I'm trying to think.
Controversy?
Nah. It didn't make any sense in my head. But all I'm gonna say is this. Yeah, it didn't make any sense. It was stupid. Yeah, I was about to say something stupid on camera. So I'm not gonna do that. But ceiling razors, as I've said multiple times, right? I think I've said that word like 100 times now. I'm getting the words confused, but they're better than floor razors, right? That's why
Done.
if someone were to say to me, right, Russell Westbrook puts a better stats than Stephen Curry, right? He's more athletic.
Cool.
He's a better rebounder, right? And stuff
Better
like
defender. No.
Better defender.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, better defender. Passing is about equal. I mean, you could whoever you want to choose is up to your argument, right? So Westbrook's better, right?
Mm-hmm.
All you gotta explain to them is what a floor razor is, what a ceiling razor is. Argument is shut.
Done.
See, this argument goes to a lot of other people as well in other sports, right? See, that's what makes a guy like Patrick Mahomes so great.
Mm.
See, a lot of quarterbacks, they could be good with the Chiefs, but Patrick Mahomes makes that team a Super Bowl team.
Bro, why do you think he's getting the contract he's getting? This man's getting like $503 million. He's getting that for a reason.
Exactly. Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, I respect y'all. Deshaun Watson, I respect y'all. But
don't talk about my boy Russell Wilson.
I mean, yeah, he's the second best quarterback in the NFL. But
of course,
you can't do what Patrick Mahomes can do.
Oh,
nobody can. That's why he's the best quarterback in the league.
Why?
That's why MJ's the GOAT. That's why Tim Duncan is better than Shaq. That's the reason why Wilt Chamberlain is not better than Bill Russell.
Man, we've taught you. Okay, right. Take notes, man. This was the most educational thing I've been a part of, aside from math class with Miss Belvedere.
Oh yeah, I was preaching to y'all. I had to preach to y'all for a quick moment.
Hallelujah, bro.
Because you guys weren't getting it. I hope I don't see this anymore. I hope if I say something like
we're probably gonna have to do a part 3.
Yeah, bro. Because if I say something like, here's the thing, someone once got mad at me because I said Magic Johnson was better than Kobe. Like no disrespect, but like that really. I mean, if you think so, go ahead. But he said I shouldn't even put their names in the same sentence. You see, and that's a person who doesn't know basketball right there.
Yeah, man. You gotta be a basket man. Okay, listen. Don't make basketball arguments with me if you really don't know basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Period. And that is on period.
You could say whatever you want, but you just gotta make sure that you're.
Do you, bro?
Yeah, like, hey, I said John Stockton was overrated. You could disagree with that. But you
and I will.
Hey, but you can't say anything to back it up, though, right?
Exactly.
It's something you can't take away. What else? I said Scottie Pippen was like the 8th best small forward of all time. I mean, you guys got mad on that one, but I broke down the resumes of every other player.
Yeah, man.
Agreements, disagreements can always happen, but as long as you're willing to back up your point, it's all good.
Well, man, I hope you guys got educated here. So what? There wasn't as many arguments as you would have liked. We just educated you. All right,
Yes.
man. But overall, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, man, swing over some topics if you want to hear them. Follow up the YouTube, the Spotify. Share this. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you guys next week.
All right.
Amen.